Good evening. My name is DeSean, and I'm a grateful addict. They want me to tell you what it was like, what it was, and what it is like now. So I'm gonna stick to the format. What it was like was I came to Fred Brown the first time, straight from custody, and while I was there, I thought I knew everything, you know what I'm saying? But I had a cool support group that was teaching me everything, you know what I'm saying? And I got complacent. I wanted a job because I was the only one stuck in this house, you know what I'm saying? Everybody was getting up, going to work. So I went with my thinking, you know what I'm saying, and took one of them under the table jobs, you know what I'm saying? Just anything to go to work, just to feel important, because I didn't want to sit there in my head all day, you know. So I started going to work, and I got this under the cover security guard job, and it was the worst thing I could have did, because me thinking with my own thinking and my behaviors, I'm thinking, well, top flight of the world, Craig, you know what I'm saying? I took it a little bit too serious. And in the course of that, I watched somebody break into a car, and you know me, I just jumped into action and grabbed them and choked them out and brought them back, you know what I'm saying? And guess what? That was not what you were supposed to do. So I learned the hard way. And being that I was on active parole, you know what I'm saying? I wound up in central booking, So I was like in my head about the whole thing, because I was looking at myself like, man, check this out, man. This whole trying to be clean, sober, goody, mamby-pamby stuff, I'm doing everything the right way and it still goes wrong, right? So, you know, I tried to maintain for a while, you know what I'm saying? But being in custody and everything else, you know what I'm saying? I was thinking that, well, maybe I can get out and try it one more time. But as I stayed in there and as I started to get into the whole, you know, shall we say, things that go on in there, you know what I'm saying? Slowly started to get back into that environment. That environment got into me, you know what I'm saying? Somebody always once told me, don't always use that cop out. You're a product of your environment. But when you were raised that way, that's just how it is, it was all I knew, I went to what was comfortable, not what I learned. So once I got out, I found myself right back in that same rut, you know what I'm saying? I found myself fresh from the gate, running around, running amok. I'm like, I'm free, they let me go, so I must not be on parole no more. I was left to my own thinking. But that own thinking lasted maybe, I would say, all about 3 weeks before I woke up one day and my parole agent was standing over me with the silver bracelets again. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going back. And my children are sitting there crying, everybody's crying, and I got nobody to blame, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm looking at my children, and I just really went to a rehab and tried to get right and promised them I'll be right. And once again, I'm a failure. That whole self-loathing, self-pity stuff set in. You know what I'm saying? So by the grace of God, he gave me the option. He said, you've got 1 week to get into a rehab. Now, me with my thinking, I was like, okay, I could figure this out. So I called Tarzana, I called House of Yuhu, I called every place but Fred Brown. Why? Because I was like, man, I can't go back. The embarrassment, the shame, the everything, it was just eating at me, you know what I'm saying? And I called everybody, everywhere was full. My parole agent came back at the end of that week and told me, hey, check this out, man. I thought I told you you had something to do. I said, yeah, man, I'm on the waiting list. He said, no, waiting list ain't good enough. You got 72 hours. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, come on. I'm trying to reason, trying to find what we addicts say, that easier, softer way. Did not work. So he said, listen, you've got 72 hours. If you can't find a place to go, I'll find a place for you. And trust me, after just leaving that place, I was not ready for them stale peanut butter sandwiches and burritos again. That just wasn't me, man. I wasn't with it at that point in time. I'd had enough. I just got unclogged the first time. Now I'm finna go start on that ain't it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So man, I found myself bugging Liz every day. She was like, man, sis, don't worry, we'll find you something. Don't worry. I'm like, man, I got no choice. You know what I'm saying? Because in my last 24 hours, when I just made myself in my own stinking thinking to where, okay, to hell with this. I'm finna take it on the run. I know a spot where I can go up into Lancaster and hide out and this, that, and other. And lo and behold, something came open for me. Even when something came over, even when the bail was available to me, I still fought. I still fought with it. I was like, man, if I go back here, man, I got to hear this. I got to hear this. I mean, I never even unpacked my stuff because I was just like, man, check it out. As soon as they start, man, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? As soon as they start, giving me a hard time, I'm out of here. And it was crazy because everybody that I thought was gonna clown me opened their arms and showed me nothing but love. Told me, welcome back, welcome home. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, wait a minute, this ain't right, man. What's happening? You know what I'm saying? And it was crazy because I learned that lesson right then and there, that a lot of the problems that we have are in our head. You know what I'm saying? I learned that although I had that time in addiction and all that time in recovery, I never really looked at the real principles and problems that they were trying to teach me. And one of the main principles and problems that they teach you is you can come in here and you can work and do the steps, but if you don't change the attitudes and the behaviors, you're gonna leave and you're gonna get out of here. And the first time you get into the situation, you're gonna handle this situation the only way you know how. And that's gonna lead you right back to that destruction. I no longer have that destruction behavior. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I still have a lot of character defects that I gotta go through. You know what I'm saying? But my experiences from being here is letting me know that it's not about how you do it, but it's how you respond to it. You know what I'm saying? The attitudes and behaviors. And it's crazy because I always lived that street life, and I realize now that that street life, I'm too damn old for that. That's looking stupid. I now have a brotherhood within these walls that's stronger than me than the street life, because these are people that are unconditional. Most people out there on the block, it's all about what you've done, what you can do, and what you can contribute. These people accept you as you are, where you are. You know what I'm saying? I hear a lot of good messages here, you know what I'm saying? Especially, my boy Jeffrey here. Yeah. I gotta say, man, my brotherhood has gotten so strong, and I've been feeling so good about myself. My little Kurt, CMB, you know what I'm saying? But hey, look, Big Debo, hey, Matt, Miss Roxy, I want to thank you because, even you've kept this going for so long. Not only that, you give people chances, but the main chance you give people is you give them a chance to find themselves. Even when they slip, stumble, and fall, you still don't give up on them. You know what I'm saying? Most places they give you one time, you mess it up, you out of there. You know what I'm saying? You work with people. You meet people right where they are. And it's been a blessing, man. It's been a blessing to be here. I'm not saying that I'm fully healed, because I still have a lot of this journey to continue, but I now know that I have a loving and perfect support group to work with. So for that, I'm grateful, man, and thank you for letting me share.